Yes, a warm welcome back to Classic Dirt Bike TV, and also welcome to the Scottish Grand National Scramble right here at Drumlanrig Castle. Yes, hello to you all once again, and thanks for joining me here on Classic Dirt Bike TV as we take a look at part 2 of the Scottish Classic Grand National Scramble from the fabulous Drumlanrig Castle. Now, I do hope you enjoyed all the goings on from part 1, but right now we're going to take in the Friday evening Grasstrack event. Now, this was basically just for a bit of fun to entertain the many spectators who turned up at the event, and this is the first race of the night. This is the pre-1968 class. And as we look along the line, we have number 122, that's Fergus Moody. 454 is Peter Hollinshead. Number 116 on the CZ seems to have a problem with his throttle jammed open. That's number 116, that's Andrew Nicol. Number 34 there is Peter Jarrett, but it looks like Andy Nicol is going to have an explosion with that CZ motor as the throttle appears to be jammed open. And because of that mechanical failure, I think it's quite fair to say that Andrew Nicol won't be taking part in this first race of the day. Needs to get that old CZ looked at before he lines up for his second race of the night. Our race starter there is Darren Hudson, of course. He will be starting the bike, so as the bikes get ready to leave the line, heads down, elbows up. It's a good start there by Fergus Moody, number 122, but it looks like Peter Hollinshead has taken the lead on that SRM BSA twin, but Fergus Moody dives down the inside. So as they come round to complete lap 1, it's Fergus Moody with Peter Hollinshead now taking the lead. 4 laps, of course, of this little Grasstrack event, so it doesn't take these riders long to complete a lap. As they come round on lap 2, it's Fergus Moody who leads, number 454 Peter Hollinshead on that lovely sounding BSA. Now, this very short oval racetrack is of course the same track that the lawnmower guys used the previous day, so it's already quite slick and cut up, but as the riders come round to begin their last and final lap, it's still Fergus Moody who has the advantage over Peter Hollinshead on the SRM BSA twin. So as they come up the hill, it looks like it's going to be a win for number 122 Fergus Moody, and it's going to be Peter Hollinshead in second position. Now, these races will of course be very quick because there's only 4 laps for each class, and it doesn't take these guys long to do a lap of this circuit. So this is race 2, this is the pre-1978 class. It looks like John Fleming's made quite a good start there, but it's young James McLean who's riding that Shenny Yamaha, who is your race leader, number 16. John Fleming trying to go around the outside there, number 10. James McLean's made a very good start on that big 4-stroke Shenny Yamaha. And currently in third position there we have Ivan Carr on his CZ, number 27, but it looks like John Fleming is now your new race leader. Ivan Carr has now moved up into second position. He's looking to challenge John Fleming for that pole position, but John Fleming is still your race leader. And it's now Ivan Carr who is your second place man, number 27 on that CZ machine. So as the riders make their way round to complete their last and final lap, it's going to be a win for number 10 John Fleming. Number 27 Ivan Carr is going to finish in second, and it's going to be James McLean on the Shenny Yamaha in third. So that brings us on to race 3, the pre-1978 class. And we have 125 there on the left is Ian Stainton. Number 49 is Ian Marr on his CZ. Number 217 is Peter Maxwell. So as they make their way into turn 1, it looks like it's Ian Stainton on that Alan Clues Stroker 4-stroke machine, who is your race leader. Number 217 Peter Maxwell is second. Callum Wilson there, number 60, is in third, and number 88 is Billy Pentland riding the late Ian Robertson's little Can-Am machine. So here's your race leader, number 125 Ian Stainton on the 4-stroke Clues Stroker machine. These 4-stroke Clues Strokers were, of course, the very first bikes that Alan Clues put together before he registered the name CCM. Number 217 is Peter Maxwell riding what looks like an old 1974 Michael machine. So as these guys start their last and final lap, it's going to be a win for number 125 Ian Stainton. Second is going to be Peter Maxwell, number 217, and it looks like Callum Wilson is going to cross the line in third position. So that brings us around to race 4. This is another heat of the pre-1978 class. Number 302 in the yellow on the right there is Wayne Partington on the CZ. And we can also see Josh McCoo there, number 889. As the riders get ready to leave the line. It's a good start by Wayne Partington on that CZ. Second position there looks like that could be Andy Farr, number 368. And so as a complete lap 1, it's almost definitely Wayne Partington, your race leader. Andy Farr is in second on that little CR250 Honda Elsinore. So Wayne Partington well on his way here as he completes another lap. As I said, only 4 laps of this very short circuit, so it doesn't take long for these guys to complete a lap. As we take a look at number 368, Andy Farr, a lovely little example of one of those Honda Elsinore machines. And so as the riders head towards the checkered flag on their last and final lap, it's going to be a win for this man here, number 302 Wayne Partington on that lovely turned out CZ. It's going to be Andy Farr who crosses the line in second. Next up, it's race 5 and the first race for the pre-1984 class. We can take a look there at number 2. That's Brad O'Leary on the left hand side there on that white Michael. Number 43 is Ryan Ireland riding the big CR Honda. And number 139 on the right there is Craig Holmes. So as the riders get ready to leave the line, cracking start there by Brad O'Leary, but Ryan Ireland is heading down that inside. Looks like Ryan Ireland has the early lead here from Brad O'Leary in second position on that. I think that's a Bill Brown Michael that Brad's riding. So as they complete lap 1, this is tight stuff between Ryan Ireland and Brad O'Leary, but it looks like Ryan Ireland has the slight advantage as Brad O'Leary sticks that Michael down the inside. So it's now Brad O'Leary, your race leader on the big 490 Michael, who leads Ryan Ireland, and I think Ryan could be riding one of those big 480 Hondas. But another good ride here by this very talented rider, Brad O'Leary. And look out for Brad, of course, in the Scrambles races on the Saturday and Sunday, because this man is very quick. So it's Brad O'Leary with the win from second place man Ryan Ireland. So that brings us around to race 6, another heat of the pre-1984 class, and we're looking at number 32 on the left there. That's Trevor Calderwood from Northern Ireland. Number 67 is Rob Butler, and it looks like number 22 there, I think that's Andy Dykes, who's just stalled his big CCM on the start line, so Andy will need to vacate his position at the line and try and get the big CCM fired up, but there's plenty of help there to give him a bit of a shove. But it looks like Andy's got the big CCM up and running again. He'll come up to take his position on the line. So it looks like everybody's good to go now. We're just waiting on our official starter, Darren Hudson there, Mr. Twin Shock himself. So as the riders leave the line, Trevor Calderwood's made quite a good start there in second position, but it looks like it's number 9 who is your race leader. That is of course Paul Jonty Johnson, who is your race leader. I think that's a big 480 Honda that Paul's riding, but he's made a very quick start from the gate. As we take a look at number 32, that's Trevor Calderwood riding that Monda machine. That's the Michael frame with the big 480 Honda two-stroke motor in the chassis. But it's Paul Jonty Johnson who is your race leader as he comes round to complete another racing lap. A very quick rider and bike that Paul has underneath him here, but as he goes round to complete his last and final lap, it's going to be a win for Paul Jonty Johnson. And first, second's going to be Trevor Calderwood from Northern Ireland, and it's going to be this man here, number 67, Rob Butler, in third position. So as we move now on to race 7, this is another qualifying round for the pre-1984 class. Now we have Andy Malloch there on the left hand side on his Montesa Capra. On the far right there, number 48, is ex-Kawasaki Works rider Mark Fulton, and some very quick riders in this class. Now just take a look at Mark coming off the line in this big Stuart Bland built Honda hybrid machine. So as they leave the line, Mark Fulton is absolutely shot straight from the gate. And I think in second position, I think it's number 46, that's Harrison Grosset in second place. But Mark Fulton has already completed a lap of this very short circuit. It's not an easy thing to ride one of these big open class bikes on such a short track, but it looks like we've got a follower at the bottom of the track. Number 75 there is David Loudon on his 490 Yamaha. David, of course, from Scotland, another very talented and very quick rider, as Mark Fulton comes round to complete another lap of this racetrack. So it looks like it's going to be quite an easy win for Mark Fulton at number 48 as he comes round to take the checkered flag. As we are now up to race 8, and this is another qualifying round for the pre-1984 class. Number 17 is Mike van der Merwe. Next to Mike is number 18, Jim Colligan. Number 197 is David Stanford there in the yellow and the Yamaha machine. So as they leave the line to begin lap 1, it looks like our early leader is number 3. Now I do know that Willie Burgess is number 3 from Northern Ireland, but I'm not 100% sure that this is actually Billy riding this machine, so apologies if I've got that particular rider wrong. Second position is number 157 there, that's John Stokes on the 490 Maiko, another talented Scottish rider. So as they complete lap 2, it's still number 3, your race leader, another 490 Maiko rider. John Stokes is still in second position. So as they make their way round on the final lap, it's number 157, John Stokes, who looks like he's going to take the win, with number 3 in second position, and both of these riders of course riding the old 490 Michaels. And so race 9 brings us round to the second race for the pre-1968 class. Remember, we had a good scrap between number 454 Peter Hollinshead and number 122 Fergus Moody, but it's Peter Hollinshead who has the drop from the gate. Peter riding that lovely sounding SRM 650 BSA twin. So it's Peter Hollinshead, your race leader, on lap 1. Fergus Moody is in second position. I think Fergus is riding a B40 BSA machine, but it's still Peter Hollinshead, your race leader, second. Fergus Moody there, number 122 in second place. And this looks like it's going to be another good scrap, as we had in the previous pre-1968 race. So as they come up the hill to start their last and final lap, it's Peter Hollinshead with the early lead over number 122 Fergus Moody. But Fergus Moody dives down the inside. Peter Hollinshead still trying to hold on to that pole position. So as they make the final turn at the bottom of the hill, it looks like it's going to be a photo finish as they cross the line, but I think Peter Hollinshead has secured that win with Fergus Moody in second. And so race 10 brings us to another qualifier for the pre-1978 class, and we're looking at on the right hand side here, number 10 John Fleming, number 302 is Wayne Partington, number 60 is Callum Wilson, number 16 is James McLean on that Shenny Yamaha 4-stroke machine. As our race starter, Darren Hudson gets into position. I think there's just the 4 bikes in this particular race, so as they get ready to leave the line, a good start by John Fleming on the Nori Patty 3L CZ machine. James McLean dives down the outside, and it looks like it's James McLean on that 4-stroke Shenny Yamaha, who is your race leader, number 16. And just making their way around in second position there is Wayne Partington, number 302 on the CZ machine. John Fleming now in third position. So as they make their way up the hill once more, it's Wayne Partington who is now your new race leader. James McLean in second position. It's been another good ride by Wayne Partington as he comes up the hill to start his last and final lap. John Fleming looks like he's moved up into second position on the Nori Patty CZ. So this has been another cracking ride by Wayne Partington as he comes round to take the win. John Fleming is still in second place, so it's going to be a win for Wayne Partington, second John Fleming, and it's going to be James McLean who finishes in third. Race 11 is another qualifying race for the pre-1978 class. So as they leave the line, that's been a good start there by number 368. That was Andy Farr on the 250 Honda Elsinore machine. Joe McLean there in third position. So as they make their way up the hill, it's still number 368, Andy Farr, who is your race leader. Number 27, just making his way through there, is Ivan Carr, riding the CZ machine. But certainly a good scrap between these two riders. Number 27, Ivan Carr, and number 368, that's Andy Farr. But it's Ivan Carr with the advantage as they make their way up the hill. Andy Farr on the outside there on that lovely CR250 Honda Elsinore machine. But it looks like Ivan Carr is going to take the win as they come up the hill for the very last time. So it's a win for Ivan Carr with Andy Farr in second position. some very quick riders in this class. This is race 12, the pre-1978 class. We're looking at some of the riders. Number 217 there is Peter Maxwell. But as they leave the line, and once more, it's another good start by number 125. That's Ian Stainton, who won the first heat of this class. It looks like Josh McCoo is in second position. Gary White there, number 45, is in third on that lovely little Michael twin shock machine. Peter Maxwell in fourth, but as they come up the hill, it's still number 125 Ian Stainton on the Clues Stroker in first position. In second place there, it's number 889, that's Josh McCoo from Northern Ireland on the BSA. Oh! Now it looks like Josh has dropped his machine on the corner. Commentators curse once again the minute you mention a rider, he ends up dropping his machine. But Josh is up and running once again, but it looks like it's going to be another win here for this man at number 125, Ian Stainton. So that quite nicely brings us on to race 13, another qualifier for the pre-1984 class. Remember, Mark Fulton won the first race in this class, number 48 on the right hand side there. Number 22 is Andy Dykes on the CCM. Number 75 is David Loudon on the 490 YZ Yamaha. So race starter Darren Hudson is doing his stuff to get their bikes ready to leave the line. 5-second board is up now. So, nearly a collision there with Mark Fulton coming out the gate, but it looks like Mark has still stuck that bike down the inside. But it's Brad O'Leary on the Michael who is your race leader on lap 1. Second is Mark Fulton, who goes, dear. There's no holes barred in this Grasstrack racing, that's for sure. But it's number 48 Mark Fulton with the advantage over number 2 there, Brad O'Leary on that very quick 490 Michael machine. And look forward to seeing Brad racing in the Scrambles races in the Saturday and Sunday, because this man is super quick on this Michael. So they're already on their last and final lap of this heat, so it's going to be a win, I think, for number 2 Brad O'Leary, unless Mark can do something on this final corner. But it's a win for Brad O'Leary with second place number 48 Mark Fulton. So the race is coming thick and fast now, with another heat of the pre-1984 class. Number 9 there is Paul Jonty Johnson, the winner of the first heat of this race. Number 32 is Trevor Calderwood. And Trevor Calderwood's made a blinding start, but it's Paul Johnston on that number 9 Honda who is your race leader. Very quick bike this that Paul's riding. I think it's a big 480 two-stroke Honda machine. As you can see, Paul's already pulling away from second placed rider, which is number 103. That's David Lawson on the Honda Red Rocket. But Paul Johnston already flying his way around this very short Grasstrack circuit. David Lawson there is still in second position. It's still Rob Butler, number 67 on the Suzuki, in third. So as they make their way round on the last and final lap, it's going to be win number 2 for Paul Johnston there, number 9, and it's going to be Davy Lawson in second position. And so, funnily enough, after race 14, that brings us to race 15, another qualifier for the pre-1984 class, as we take a look at number 43. I think that's Ryan Ireland. Number 12, or number 2 on the right hand side, I'm sure that's David Solkeed. I do hope I've pronounced that name right, David, as we look at our official starter, Mr. Twin Shock himself, Darren Hudson. Just making sure that all the bikes are running and ready to go. The 15-second board is now up. 5 seconds as the gate drops. It's another good start by Ryan Ireland as they head into turn 1. So as they make their way up the hill, it looks like it's still the advantage to Ryan Ireland, number 43 on the big Honda. Number 12, David Salkide, is trying to go around the outside. But another good showing by David on that number 12 machine. So as they come up the hill, it's still number 43, Ryan Ireland, your race leader from number 12, David Salkide. Not easy for these big open class machines to put the power down on this very short circuit, but they're very quick as they make their way around this short oval. So it's the final lap now for this man here, number 43, and it looks like it's going to be a win for Ryan Ireland, and it looks like David Salkide is going to cross the line in second position. So that quite nicely brings us around to race 16, another qualifier for the pre-1984 class, as we take a look at number 46, that's Harrison Grosset on the right, number 18 is Jim Colligan, number 17 is Mike van der Merwe, number 67 is Rob Butler, and number 3 is Willie Burgess. So as the riders all leave the line, it looks like a good start by number 3, Willie Burgess. Second is Rob Butler, number 67 on that Suzuki. But this has been another cracking ride by the Northern Irishman. Number 3, Willie Burgess on the Michael. Second is still Rob Butler, with Harrison Grosset in third. Jim Colligan is still in fourth, but it looks like Harrison Grosset is moving up into that second place position on his Yamaha. Rob Butler fighting back there. Jim Colligan currently in fourth, but as a race leader, Willie Burgess heads towards the checkered flag. It's going to be another good win by the Michael rider. So it's a first place finish for Willie Burgess. Second across the line is going to be Harrison Grosset, and it's going to be Rob Butler who crosses the line in third position. So that brings us around to the final for the pre-1968 class. Remember, we had some good racing between number 454 Peter Hollinshead and number 122 Fergus Moody, so this will be the decider of this class. So as they leave the line, it looks like number 34, that's Peter Jared, who's made a good start on the CZ, but it's Peter Hollinshead once again on that big 4-stroke BSA, but Peter Jared fighting back, trying to go down the outside, but Peter Hollinshead still holding that line. Fergus Moody now beginning to move up on his B40 BSA, so it's still Peter Hollinshead. Fergus Moody is now in second position. Now these two had some cracking races in the previous two heats, so there's nothing to choose between them at this point, but Peter Hollinshead seems to have a slight advantage as they come round to complete another lap. So it's Peter Hollinshead first. Fergus Moody is in second position as they start the last and final lap. But what a cracking scrap between these two talented riders. Peter Jared is still there in third position. So as they head up the hill for the last time, it's a very tight finish. I don't know who actually won that particular race. It was so tight. But anyhow, that brings us to the final for the pre-1978 class. As we take a look at number 302 on the right hand side, that's Wayne Partington. Number 10 is John Fleming. Number 217 is Peter Maxwell. Number 368 is, of course, Andy Farr. And on the left-hand side there is number 125, Ian Stainton, who's already won 2 heats in this class. So we're back with our resident twin shock starter, Darren Hudson. So as the riders get ready to leave the line, 15-second board is up, 5 seconds. Oh, it looks like John Fleming's been caught in the start gate there, but it's a good start by Wayne Partington on the CZ machine. Ian Stainton is in second position on the 4-stroke Clues Stroker bike. So on lap 1 it's Wayne Partington first, second Ian Stainton, number 125, who is in second position. And it's still number 368, Andy Farr, on the 250 Elsinore Honda, who is in third position. But as they complete another lap, it's this man here, number 302, Wayne Partington, on that lovely CZ machine, who leads at number 125, Ian Stainton, on the 4-stroke machine. So as they head up the hill, we take a look at number 125, Ian Stainton, who's already won 2 of the heats. So it's been a good afternoon for Ian Stainton. Third place is still Andy Farr on the 2-stroke Elsinore bike. So as they start the last and final lap of this race, second position there is number 125, Ian Stainton. But here's the winner of this final. It's number 302, Wayne Partington, with Ian Stainton crossing the line in second. So that quite nicely brings us around to the penultimate race of the Grasstrack on Friday evening. This is the pre-1984 top 6 point scorers. We're looking at number 46 on the right there, that's Harrison Grossett. Number 103 is David Lawson. At number 32, Trevor Calderwood. Looks like he's been told that he's not in this particular race. Number 75 is David Loudon. Whoops, looks like we've had a bit of a coming together between Harrison Grossett and David Lawson, but it's number 75, that's David Loudon, who is your race leader on the YZ490 Yamaha. So as David comes round to complete lap 1, looks like David's made a very good start on that rapid Yamaha bike. Harrison Grossett still in second position, with David Lawson there, number 103 on the Honda Red Rocket. But it still looks like it's number 75, David Loudon there on the YZ490 Yamaha, who is your race leader, as David comes round to start his last and final lap of this race. But I do hope you've enjoyed most of the racing here in this Grasstrack event from the Friday night. Just a bit of light entertainment for the Friday evening. So it's a win for number 75, David Loudon, with Harrison Grossett in second position. So that brings us quite nicely to the final race of the Grasstrack on the Friday evening. This is the pre-1984 Grand Final. We're looking at number 9 there, Paul Johnston on the left. Number 3 is Willie Burgess. Number 2 is Brad O'Leary. Number 48 on the right there is Mark Fulton. But as they leave the gate, it looks like Mark Fulton has stormed away in front on that Stuart Bland 480 Honda. Brad O'Leary is trying to go up the inside, but it's still Mark Fulton first, Brad O'Leary second. Paul Johnson is powering his way down the inside, but it's Paul Johnston who's now your new race leader from Mark Fulton in second position. But Mark Fulton fighting back, but Paul Johnston has still got that slight advantage as Mark Fulton goes down the inside, and it looks like Mark is on his way on that big Honda machine. Paul Johnston still in second. Brad O'Leary is in third position on the Bill Brown Michael. So it's still this man here, number 48, Mark Fulton, on the Stuart Bland built big 480 hybrid Honda. That's the Honda engine with the Michael frame. Second position is Paul Johnston with Brad O'Leary trying to go round the outside, who cuts now to the inside and takes that second place position from number 9 Paul Johnston. So as they come up the hill, it's still Mark Fulton, your race leader. Second now is Paul Johnston. Brad O'Leary again goes down the inside and takes that second place position from Paul Johnston. So it's a cracking ride between these front 3 riders. So it's still Mark Fulton, your race leader. Second now is Paul Johnston. Brad O'Leary will probably cut to the inside once again and take that position back, but what a cracking scrap for this final race of the day. So we're looking at number 2, Brad O'Leary on the Michael, who races Paul Johnston on the big CR Honda, but it looks like it's going to be a win for number 48, Mark Fulton. And as they come up the hill, it's going to be Brad O'Leary in second place with Paul Johnston in third. And so there you have it, all the racing action from the Friday night's Grasstrack event. And when we return for part 3, we'll take a stroll through the paddock and take a look at some of the very nice machines that were racing at this meeting over the weekend. So once again, thanks for watching and for taking the time to tune in to Classic Dirt Bike TV.